Happening now, Jamestown's mayor is speaking out about the uptick in COVID-19 cases here in Jamestown. Plus, the push to save a Gowanda prison that's slated to close in 90 days.
Well, we have some light snowflakes falling out there as a noon hour, but that is nothing compared to what we could be going through on Christmas. I'll tell you what we know next. The news at noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. The number of positive COVID-19 cases continues to increase in Chautauqua County, particularly in the city of Jamestown, as the year nears a close. Jamestown Mayor Eddie Sundquist addressed the situation during his remarks last night at a virtual City Council work session meeting. Sundquist says there are currently 3 active COVID-19 cases among city employees, and 14 are quarantining as they await test results. Now, despite the increase, the mayor is pleased overall with how city residents have adhered to various health guidelines throughout the pandemic.
It is hitting every department. COVID is on the rise here in the city of Jamestown. And I cannot stress enough that we need to talk to our constituents about continuing to stay home, maintaining that social distance, and wearing a mask. I will say mask compliance has been really good compared to some of the other cities, both in our county and across the Western New York region.
City officials are considering making access to City Hall offices by appointment only. The mayor, however, says that no decision has been made and he'll keep the council informed. Well, 199 new cases of COVID-19 were reported in Chautauqua County yesterday, with people testing positive from over the weekend. In an update to the county's COVID-19 dashboard, health officials reported 48 of the new cases are here in Jamestown. There are now 452 active cases, with 129 active in the city. Of the cases, 33 people are in the hospital. That number down from 34 on Friday. The county's 7-day average percent positivity rate has decreased to 6.7%, down from 7.8%. Nearby Cattaraugus County reported 54 new cases of the virus yesterday, with 637 now active. Well, right now, researchers are scrambling to study a new variant of coronavirus that authorities say could be even more contagious, as we pass another morbid milestone in the pandemic here in the United States, with more than 18 million infections. Daryl Forges has the latest.
Evidence on this virus is it spreads easily, it's more transmissible.
A new, potentially more contagious variant of COVID-19 has triggered Tier 4 lockdowns in London and parts of England, and dozens of nations are now shutting down travel from the United Kingdom.
It's not as though we can stop this getting into other places. There's some there already.
There are a few countries that have reported single cases of this variant.
So, should you be alarmed? Health officials say
it is not any more lethal or any more dangerous than the normal coronavirus.
I am quite confident that this particular strain is not going to be resistant to vaccines.
The nation's top infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, says the U.S. should keep an eye on it, but warned we don't want to overreact. This as first shots of the Moderna vaccine hit American arms.
It didn't hurt. It didn't hurt.
All done, doctor. Hey.
Now, President-elect Joe Biden has received his first of 2 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine.
This is just the beginning. It's one thing to get the vaccine out, and now Moderna is going to be on the road as well, but it's going to take time.
I'm Daryl Forges reporting.
Daryl, thank you. New York State now calling on airlines coming from Europe to test customers for COVID prior to their arrival in an effort to crack down on the new variant. Several local and state officials are now calling on Governor Andrew Cuomo to reverse the decision that will close the Gowanda Correctional Facility next year. New York State Senator George Borrello, who represents the state's 57th Senate District, is joining other lawmakers to try and save the facility. The group is outlining their concerns about the negative impact they say the closure will have on employees and their families, the community, and the correctional system as a whole during a press conference later on this afternoon. We spoke to Borrell this morning about his thoughts.
So I can't think of worse timing. 4 days before Christmas, the hardworking people of the Gowanda Correctional Facility, along with others in the state, received notice that they would be losing their job. That was their Christmas gift from Governor Cuomo and Department of Corrections. So on top of everything, the timing is horrible. But also, we need to look at the situation when it comes to public safety. I mean, New York State is seeing spikes in crime in almost every category. You have prison violence that's up, and now we're going to be taking these people and putting them into smaller spaces, putting prisoners on top of each other, and for what? To serve a ridiculous political agenda.
A spokesperson with the New York State Department of Corrections says the decision was based on, but not limited to, several main points, which include physical infrastructure, program offerings, facility security levels, standardized medical and mental health services, other facilities in the area that can minimize the impact on staff, and potential reuse of the operations, areas of the state where prior closures have occurred to minimize impact to the communities. Officials say they carefully reviewed all of that at 52 correctional facilities and identified Gowanda among Watertown and Clinton Annex for closure. The 3 facilities are slated to close by March 30th of 2021. The spokesperson says since Governor Cuomo took office in 2011, the prison population has declined by more than 22,000, a 39% reduction. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now as we make our way through a shortened week for many ahead of this Christmas holiday. Great to see Marie, good to see Kathy, Ian, Joyce, and Linda as well. Good afternoon to you. Thanks so much for tuning us here in the comments down below. It's great to see Don, Gerald, Helen, Cindy, Wendy. Happy Tuesday to you. Thanks so much for tuning in every day. We appreciate it. Good to see Sally and Lisa as well. Let us know what you guys think about these stories and more. We absolutely love hearing from you. And one of the big things that I'm sure we'll all be talking about as we head throughout this week is our weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter standing by with a first look at it now. Hey, Dakota.
Hey, Justin, and yeah, things are going to be changing as we go into Christmas Eve and into Christmas Day, something we've been telling you about all week long, and especially last week about the potential for this Christmas Day storm. Right now, we have just a few light snow showers falling at Chautauqua Institution. 34 degrees right now is the current temperature, and you can actually see the radar does pick up on it. Now, the radar does show it as rain showers, but again, this is just the precip typing algorithm. So again, there actually is some wet snowflakes actually mixed in this, and we've actually seen that downtown as well, as you saw on that HD News Now cam as we started the show. 33 is our current temperature in town, 36 Mayville, 37 Fredonia, 33 Clymer. Good afternoon to you. Also in Randolph, and 30 over in Olean. The warmer spot today is actually going to be near the Lake Erie shoreline. Erie is actually cracking almost 40 degrees as of this hour. So the warmer spot's there. The cooler spot's going to be inland. But here in town, we did make it to 34 yesterday. We started the day at 31. 64 back in 2013 broke the record high, and 8 below zero back in 1944. So through the afternoon, a couple light rain and snow showers. Not a big deal, but it will actually cause some limited fog out there, so keep your eyes on that. 31 to 37 through the afternoon with the southwest wind averaging 5 to 10 miles per hour. But that Christmas Day storm, it is on its way. We'll tell you what we know in just a few minutes. Justin.
All right, Dakota, thank you. Congressman Tom Reed says the $900 billion coronavirus relief package passed by lawmakers just last night will ensure those suffering financially during the pandemic won't go without support. The Senate passed the bill just before midnight after it cleared the House of Representatives. The legislation includes up to $600 direct payments to most adult Americans, extends a moratorium on evictions, and provides an additional $300 a week in jobless benefits. Now, last week, the Problem Solvers Caucus shared 2 bills, which Reed says serve as the framework for the deal.
Let this be a marker that I think the folks that we are in the Problem Solvers Caucus are going to set the example, I believe, of what the next Congress has the potential to deliver. And that is a new way of governing here in Washington, D.C. A way in which we respect the leadership, we understand the job they have to do, but at the end of the day, we are also members of Congress, And we want to make sure that we always have the priority in order, and the priority is the American people.
Now, however, the package did not include financial support for local governments. Congress also approved a resolution to keep the government funded for an additional 7 days, which President Trump signed earlier today. He's expected to officially sign the relief a little bit later on. Lawmakers want to use that time to formalize legislation to avoid a possible government shutdown. Well, now that the long-awaited relief from the federal government is finally on its way, New York State Capitol correspondent Karina Campabianca is hearing from some lawmakers on what the bill is doing right and where some say it's falling short.
The $900 billion stimulus package includes $600 payments to most Americans, as well as aid to businesses and the unemployed, but it will not include state and local relief funding. During a press briefing today, Governor Cuomo said Democrats in Congress were faced with a, quote, Sophie's choice between providing aid for some people or no one. He says without action, tax increases and layoffs will be on the way.
When you don't fund states and cities, that means cities lay off police officers and they lay off firemen, firefighters, and they lay off teachers.
New York State is currently facing a $15 billion budget gap. The governor has not yet made permanent cuts, saying he'd rather hold off on doing the budget now and wait to see if state and local aid will be worked out once President-elect Biden is in office.
I'm just concerned that if the Democrats don't win the 2 seats in Georgia, that Mitch McConnell couldn't be the same impediment that he has been to giving local aid to state and local aid. But, you know, Joe Biden has shown over his career that he's been someone who's been able to work with both sides of the aisle, and that's what it's going to take.
Assembly Republican leader Will Barkley says he's glad Congress reached a deal.
It's something I think the country needed. We're obviously facing a pandemic. The costs of the states have been massive. Obviously, people are suffering, small businesses, individuals. So I'm glad there's some relief for those types of people. I think a lot of my colleagues would say, and I agree with them to some extent, it didn't go far enough to help, state and local governments. But it is a $900 billion package.
Barkley says he does feel that the federal government is in the best position to pay for COVID costs.
But that being said, I also am a taxpayer, and I don't think the so-called bailout should be used for expenses because of bad budgeting, throughout the states, including New York.
In Albany, Karina Campabianca.
Karina, thank you. Chautauqua County Executive P.J. Wendell says, albeit disappointing, the lack of funding for local governments won't have an impact on his already planned 2021 budget. Well, straight ahead here, we tell you what local tradition won't be taking place because of the pandemic. But first, the latest in a Chautauqua County drug trafficking case. This, as WNY News Now continues.
Happy holidays from WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
Want weather now? Download the WNY News Now mobile app and stay up to date on severe weather alerts. Plus, anytime hazardous weather strikes, stick with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network that keeps you safe. You're all in a tornado warning, so now is the time to go to a safe place, small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from Windows. What are you waiting for? Download the WNY News Now mobile app today. It's free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
Wishing you a safe and happy holiday season. WNY News Now, the Jolly Team, where coverage comes first.
A Sinclairville woman was sentenced to time served on a federal drug charge yesterday. The U.S. Attorney's Office says 38-year-old Stacy Griffin was sentenced to 2 years supervised release in a Buffalo courtroom. In January 2019, Griffin and co-defendant Brandon Blackshear allegedly sold fentanyl and crack cocaine in Chautauqua County. The two were arrested after the Southern Tier Regional Drug Task Force conducted controlled purchases of the drugs. Blackshear was previously convicted and is now awaiting sentencing. Well, like many treasured traditions, the President's Day Weekend Winter Festival and subsequent Ice Castle will not come to fruition this winter. The Chautauqua Chamber of Commerce announced the news yesterday. Officials say, albeit the large bump in traffic during the President's Day weekend time frame is a lifeline for a typically slow stretch in the region, the activity brings health concerns during a global pandemic. In recent months, the Planning Committee consulted with town and village officials as well as the County Health Department to explore the feasibility of hosting the event in some capacity. While the likelihood of continued strict health and safety regulations do continue into February, plus the possibility of a forced last-minute cancellation regardless of the amount of time or funds invested, the group decided that they could not reasonably accommodate the festival. It's been held annually since 1985 at Mayville's Lakeside Park. The group does anticipate reestablishing the yearly tradition in 2022, complete with signature ice castle, weather depending, of course. Well, although the COVID-19 virus doesn't discriminate, the financial toll of the pandemic is hitting minorities the hardest, and a new study is backing that up, showing just how devastating the impact is on the pocketbooks of minority small business owners. But as Britt Conway reports, some entrepreneurs are using their ingenuity to stay afloat.
Struggling to survive, the COVID-19 pandemic is impacting all small business owners, but a new survey finds minority-owned businesses are hurting the most.
8 in 10 small business owners surveyed reported the negative effects of this pandemic. More than half of the respondents have experienced revenue declines of more than 25%.
The survey from Reimagine Main Street found many entrepreneurs of color are especially struggling to stay afloat, with 33% of Black-owned, 26% of Native American-owned, and 21% of Hispanic-owned businesses reporting having less than a month of cash to cover expenses. And about 10% of those surveyed expect to close permanently in the next 6 months.
There's been some federal help, the Paycheck Protection Program, and that helped some small businesses, but it just disproportionately went to larger businesses and quite frankly didn't flow to business owners of color who needed it the most.
Thanks to necessity and ingenuity, some minority small business owners have found a way to adapt and thrive.
Because our business has gone online, we are no longer just restricted to our clients here in Oakland. We can go nationwide, we can go global.
For Natalie Huerta, owner of the Queer Gym in California, pivoting her business has paid off.
Since March, we've been able to triple our memberships in the last 9 months.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Britt Conway.
Britt, thank you. Well, you're looking at what will become the most viewed set of numbers in America in less than 2 weeks. The 2021 numerals for New York's New Year's celebration arrived in Times Square yesterday. They are 7 feet tall and will light up at midnight on December 31st. Now, along with the ball drop, the numbers are one of the most notable parts of the celebration. Another notable feature, the massive crowds, which won't be in Times Square this year. It will be closed to the public, but as in New Year's past, it will include some live performances and be streamed live on most television networks. Certainly exciting nevertheless, and a lot of people might be looking forward to saying bye-bye to 2020 and looking into 2021. Thanks so much for joining us for WNY News Now as we continue to keep you updated on all things newsworthy here locally. Great to see William. Good to see Vicky, TR, Drew, Dan, Caleb, Tori, and Sherry. Thanks so much for tuning into the broadcast today. Well, now let's switch over to Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter, who's standing by live for us now in the First Defense Weather Center. And Dakota, Christmas is almost around the corner. And this holiday season might be filled with more than just presents and joy from people here in the community. We might be getting a good amount of snow is what I hear.
Oh, yes. Old Man Winter is coming in strong. He's going to give you a nice little Christmas present. So, hey, speaking of Christmas, we are 3 days away until the official start of Christmas. Yeah, it's Friday. I think we all know that by now. This is kind of redundant. But anyway, there you go for you. 3 days to go. It comes up on Friday. Man, the Doubletree Hotel camera shows you how it is outside. 33 degrees right now with a light snow shower. But that northwest wind at 10 is hoping to blow some of that snow around, so the visibility is reduced. So it feels more like 25 degrees once you step outside. So here is what's going on. Why do we have this little this little snow shower? Well, this has to do with the impending cold front to our north. The Alberta Clipper is what it's called, and this has been the reason why it's been relatively cold over the past couple of days, and also the reason why we have some of the light snow. Now the bigger issue, this is pretty much going to be the weather story of the week. It is going to be Christmas Eve through Christmas Day, all the way through Saturday. We're going to see a strong cold front move through tomorrow, well, not tomorrow, on Thursday night. I'm a day ahead of myself. So Thursday night, we're going to see a strong cold front in the afternoon, actually, come through in the afternoon. And it's going to be a true Arctic air mass. We're going to see temperatures fall well into the teens for most people as high temperatures. That's almost near record cold for Christmas Day. But in this white area right here, there's going to be significant heavy lake effect snow setting up on the back edge of this as that colder air surges across the relatively warmer waters of Lake Erie. So for that, we do have a winter storm watch in place for much of the southern tier. Does not include Allegheny County, does not include any part of northwestern Pennsylvania yet, but I do expect that to be changing here. They'll likely add the winter storm watches probably for northwestern Pennsylvania, probably either today or tomorrow. So let's take you through. This is just one computer model. This is the American GFS, and this model I think is just one of the many models we look at, but wanted to show you the big discrepancy and why we can't throw out numbers right now in terms of snowfall. We're very confident that a heavy soaking rainfall is going to be coming down Thursday throughout the day. So expect widespread rain showers, maybe a couple rumbles of thunder, and we're confident that as the cold front moves through, temperatures are going to go the opposite direction in the afternoon. So we're going to change all this over to widespread snow. We'll likely see at least a few inches out of this before this sets up, which is the lake effect. And this is the question: where are these lake effect bands going to meander? Some of the models have it going up towards Buffalo. If it stays up Buffalo, the heaviest snow totals is going to be there. A couple of the models have shown this lake effect band meandering further to the south. If that ultimately verifies, the heaviest snow totals is going to be right along the hills of basically of the southern tier, as often is the case. That is the big discrepancy, and that is the reason why we can't throw out snowfall totals right now, simply because of that. We're not sure where those lake effect bands are going to meander, but check back in tomorrow. We should have preliminary numbers for you based on some of the newer data that comes in. So through the afternoon, temperatures mid to upper 30s today, and again, watch out for that mixed precipitation. A lot of it's blowing it around. Next 7 days of your life coming up right now, brought to you by 42 Degrees and Sunny. 40 tomorrow, but it turns windy in the afternoon, but at least we'll see some partial sunshine. A big drop on Thursday. 44 will likely be the morning high. We'll fall all the way into the teens by the end of the day, transitioning over to snow. 19 for Christmas Day. Yikes. And heavy lake effect snow will likely continue. It continues piling up through the day on Saturday, 21. Sunday, a little better, 32. And by Monday, we're looking at a few rain and snow showers with temperatures in the lower 30s. We'll take a break and be right back. First Defense Weather is sponsored by 42 Degrees and Sunny, smokin' deals on smokin' accessories. Learn more at 42degreesandsunny.com. That's 42degreesandsunny.com.
Wishing you a safe and happy holiday season. WNY News Now, the Jolly Team, where coverage comes first.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights. Vests.
please give us some room.
Slow down. Slow down and move over.
When you need help,
It's our job
To help you.
to save you.
despite the danger.
This danger is real. Do your part.
Please
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
Happy holidays from WNY News Now.
Welcome back to WNY News Now. If you missed the so-called Christmas star yesterday, you're in luck. It should be visible to some extent each night until Christmas. So look for it in the low southwestern sky for about an hour after sunset. So what's causing this phenomenon? Well, Chris Reyes asked two experts to explain.
The only thing that saves the year 2020 was the comet that we had last spring and the conjunction that we have tonight.
So what is a conjunction? It means anytime two celestial objects line up in the sky. Tonight's conjunction involves Saturn and Jupiter, passing so close to each other that their alignment will appear like one bright star.
You will see what looks like kind of a funny star. It looks like a star that's slightly elongated. This is if you're looking with your naked eye. It'll be about 20 degrees above the southwest horizon.
Jupiter is the brightest planet by far, and then that's what you will see. And then as you look a little bit more, you'll see Saturn. Maybe it's quite a bit fainter.
And when you spot this, you'll be sharing an experience with ancient times. While the two planets pass each other every 20 years, rarely this close at night and on the winter solstice.
The last time it was this close was the date that I remember is 1226, which was right around the time that Genghis Khan was conquering Asia. So it's quite a long time ago.
Everybody's calling it a Christmas star because it's happening close to Christmas, and this is actually very unusual. The last time it was close to Christmas was in the year 1166.
This close, of course, still means about 455 million miles apart, each planet in their own lane in our great solar system.
Do you need a telescope to see it?
Plenty bright enough to see with the naked eye. However, if you want to see that there's actually two objects there, you should use a pair of binoculars or a small telescope.
Chris, thank you for this reporting. Now, this conjunction is rare for the close proximity. The result will look like a double planet, as explained. And given the timing, some people are referring to it as the Christmas star. That's because Christians believe a star guided the wise men to newborn baby Jesus. Certainly exciting nevertheless near this holiday season, giving us a little bit of relief maybe for some as we head throughout the Christmas holiday, as many people are going to be celebrating that. And Dakota, I tried to look last night and unfortunately didn't have too much luck. You think we'll have any good chances to maybe see some stars this evening?
Well, especially this evening, no. The cloud cover is really going to be socked in, and we're still going to see a few light snow showers, especially through the evening hours. Overnight, it does dry out a little bit, but I think the clouds are just really going to be too thick around here to see it. So I'm sorry. 25 to 33 through the overnight tonight. The wind ultimately lessens, and tomorrow will be the best day of the week, although not a whole lot of sunshine, but I think you'll take tomorrow over what's coming Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and on Saturday.
Yeah, certainly, Dakota. Thank you. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Of course, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. We'll leave you with this live shot over downtown Jamestown. Yeah, it's a little blustery out there. You're going to want to bundle up. Of course, we remind you when you're on the go, you can simply stay in the know by downloading our mobile app. It's free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow.